Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. This is going to be a paint with me and I'm going to be doing another cat portrait. I'm a digital artist that specialises in cat portraits. I'm kind of going to be going over my painting process in this video, from start to finish, how I go from a sketch to the end result. I work on a Galaxy Tab S7 Plus and I use Clip Studio Paint for literally all of my digital portraits. The reference photo that I'm working on for this particular portrait I got from Pixabay. I usually use my own reference photos of my own cats, but I kind of wanted to work on a cat that was orange. I have been doing a couple of portraits of orange cats recently using Pixabay reference photos, and it's quite a fun colour to work with. You can see in this reference photo the cat kind of had its mouth open and I thought it was really interesting. I thought it would make for a really good painting. You can see here that I've already started off with a sketch. It's a part that I've not filmed because it's a little bit boring to watch. And I've already built up a background to start off the painting. I've also already got a colour palette that I've picked out that goes well with the orange that I'm using in this for the cat. I've been trying to make a conscious effort to be a lot more organised with my colour choices and colour palette recently. This kind of hot pink colour goes really well with this blue. It's always a winning combination. And I thought that would pair really well with the orange on the cat. I usually opt for quite a plain and flat background. But in this painting, I wanted to experiment a little bit. So I've used some of my brushes that create kind of this distressed look. You'll see in the end result, I think it works really well. A big aim for me when I'm doing portraits for my art style is I like to kind of blend the subject of the painting, so in this case the cat, with the background. I like it to kind of look a bit distressed, a bit fragmented, and so that was kind of the point of going into the background with these other kind of this black and this white to make it look like the cat was going to be kind of melting into the background. So to start off a portrait, I like to go in with some of the main colours that I'm going to be using in it. So the orange, some of the colours, the kind of beige colours that you can see on the cat, the bright pink and some of the really dark kind of blacks. And I like to go in with a really big brush. Here I'm using the flat brush. I do have a video on my channel where I go through all of my favourite brushes that you can get with Clip Studio Paint, and this is one of them. I like to go in with a really bold and dynamic brush stroke just to block in some of the key areas to begin with, kind of to get that initial shape and outline of the cat. I like to work on the entire portrait at once. I'm not someone that kind of builds up the detail in one area and finishes it and then moves on to the next part. I want the end result of my artwork to be very movement filled and dynamic. I do this by building up slowly all areas of the portrait with a really big brush to begin with, and then I'll go in with the detail in the areas that require it. Some areas I kind of keep void of detail. You'll see kind of at the end, the lower half of the cat, it's kind of quite big and blocky. I reserve the detail and going in with the smaller brushes for areas of the portraits that are a bit more interesting to look at. So, you know, the eyes and the mouth in this case. Here you can see I'm just starting to do that now. I'm sort of filling in some of the smaller details around the mouth, the teeth, kind of the highlights on the teeth and the tongue. That's kind of a really key aspect of this portrait. And it's kind of why I chose the reference photo as well, is this focus on this open mouth of the cat. I thought it was so interesting. Something else that I like to do in my artwork is to have parts of the background colour peeking through the final product. So you can see here, there's still parts of that blue sort of peeking through on the body of the cat. I do this by going in with brushes that mimic natural canvas and also ones that aren't 100% opacity. So you still get kind of that peeking of blue through the cat. And again, it's helping to achieve that style that I like, where the cat sort of disintegrates into the background. What I really like about working this way, where you go in with these big and bold and dynamic brush strokes to begin with, and then you eventually fill out the smaller details, is somewhere halfway you get a portrait that looks really bad. I feel like this is a thing with most artists, is there's always a rubbish stage of your work where you look at it and you think, how is this going to end up as a finished, completed piece of work? And then it kind of slowly comes together as you add in more and more of the details. The work eventually just clicks and it starts to look like something much more cohesive and finished. And that is so fun to watch happen in front of you. We're almost finished with this portrait now. You can kind of see I'm just adding in some of the final details. I'm adding in some of those extra colours to kind of blend the entire portrait together. Just adding in some of my favourite aspects that finish off a portrait, like the whiskers of the cat. I think it really completes it. Sometimes I do forget to add them in, but I've remembered this time. As always, I have all of my social media links in the description where you can find my artwork on things like Instagram or even TikTok. And I also have some other videos on my channel where I show speed paintings of my other cat portraits. It'd be so great if you could like or subscribe or comment, give me feedback on this. I really hope you enjoyed watching. Here's the final portrait. Thank you so much.